first. I'm going to do a little viewer discretion is advised for this video because we got a call this morning at about 10 o'clock and I just got back at 2 o'clock, so you can kind of imagine what happened at the call. So, now, very rarely am I ever going to talk about calls or when we get calls. And I'm very rarely ever going to get into details about calls. But, I feel like I need to vent a little bit. Feel like I need to talk about it, so if things like death or anything like that bothers you, you might as well turn the video off now, please. So, like I said, we got a call this morning at about 10 o'clock, and I was being lazy. I was still sleeping, and woke me up and everything, and I got to the hall, and it was for a head-on crash. So, we went out, and when we got on scene, it was between a minivan and an older, like, I don't even know what vehicle it was, but it was an older vehicle. It didn't have airbags or anything like that. It was an older car. And apparently the person in the car she might have been texting and driving. I can't, it's not for sure, but there was a slight curve in the road, and either she wasn't paying attention or she was texting and driving, and she didn't follow the curve, and she went into the other person's lane, and they hit each other head on. So when we got there, there was two people in the minivan, a wife and a said, I need to vent. So she was covered in blood. So, and her trachea was to the side, to the right, way farther over to the right, which means that she had a collapsed lung, and she was coughing up blood, and she was the steering wheel was pushed up into her. It broke some of her ribs. And, so she had some internal bleeding as well. So I was in there doing my thing, and largely there wasn't a whole lot that we could do until we got her cut out of the vehicle. But it was an older vehicle, like I said, and it was a little bit more difficult because it was so crumpled up. There wasn't a lot of the vehicle left. So I was doing my best to get in there and do as much as I could. But there wasn't a lot I could do, or any of us could do, until we got her out of there. So, and everybody was working as fast as they could, of course. And so I was towards the end. I was just, I could see that we could all see that that she wasn't going to make it. She was 17 years old. She's from a city called Lethbridge. It's about an hour away from my town. And so I was just comforting her, telling her that it was going to be okay and everything. And I was trying to distract her from the pain and everything. I was trying to ask her, where she was going to, and, asking her about her family and her friends, and what her plans were for the summer and everything. And she was starting to get more and more tired, and she leaned on me, and she started to cry. So I just, I hugged her back and everything, and kept on telling her that it was going to be okay. But before we could cut her out, she died. So yeah, so that one was a little bit more difficult for me to bear. I've been to plenty of accidents where people have been killed, but I've never had to hold on to somebody, hold their hand, and tell them that it was going to be okay, and then have them die in front of me. That one was quite a bit more difficult. I'm sorry that anybody who did watch the whole video, I'm sorry that I had such a depressing story for you, but, they bring in counselors and everything for things like this, but I never really liked to talk face to face about these kind of things, and I've never actually been bothered a whole lot by seeing dead people or blood or guts or anything like that, but something about this call is just, I guess it's just the fact that she died in my arms. It was more difficult to bear. I don't tell my family about these calls. I don't tell my friends about them. I don't tell anybody that I'm bothered. I didn't say to any of the guys that I was bothered by it today. I'm only talking about it on a video because I feel like I need to talk to get it out. So again, I'm sorry that I made a video about it, but I went home and I cried, which is the first time that I've cried for a long time. I don't know when the last time was that I cried, so definitely means that I was bothered by it. So I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on it.